Hey everybody, Jason here. For the first time ever, I'm going to do an RTR review. This is the review for the ready-to-run Kyosho RB6. Now, generally speaking, when I do these reviews, I always tend to show the running footage at the very end, and people always tell me that that's one of their favorite parts. So, before we even get started with this review, let me show you the running footage of me running this buggy. This is the buggy right out of the box, save for I put tires on it. So this is a box stock setup, oil, everything, radio, everything. I just put some broken in J-Concepts dirt webs in the rear and some barcodes in the front and set it out on the track, and here it is.
The shock package.
22.3. Yeah, I agree.
It's soft. I think it's made for Lumi. It's set up for Lumi. Lumi outdoor condition.
I mean, look at that thing. It just tracks to the corner, though.
Yes, sir. Inside.
Definitely way too soft. It's slick over in that corner.
So they got that door open. Drying it out.
Fail. All right, last one. Hopefully it'll be a good one. Okay, so you got to see me run the buggy. Not too bad, right? So there are a few things. I'm going to give you some tips at the end of the video that I think will make the buggy even better. But before I do, let me just show you the buggy itself. Here it is. And basically, these ready-to-run kits are pretty awesome. It's, you know, this kit is $330. Basically, you get the buggy and a 2.4 gigahertz radio, some instructions, and it comes with some tires that you basically would use for either bashing up and down the street, or if you're on a loose, like a loamy surface, or maybe an outdoor track, it comes with some like ribbed front tires and some spiky rear tires. But for indoor, those probably aren't gonna cut it unless it's really dry. My home track tends to be a little bit wet, so they were just really loose. We actually did try them, but they just wouldn't get it done. So, what do I think of the ready-to-run platforms? The Kyosho RB6 race kit is a $450 kit. If you were to really add up what it costs to build a race kit, you're looking at $450 for the kit, $200 for a speedo, $100 for a motor, a servo, radio, just on and on. I mean, it's well over $1,000 by the time you're said and done. And if you end up with a $400 or $500 radio, I mean, you could be talking $2,000 for the whole kit and caboodle, which that's just out of reach for most people, especially if you're younger, you know? And so these ready-to-run kits offer a really good way to get people involved in the hobby. With that being said, let me pop the body off this. And this is one of the screen-printed bodies that comes with the RB6. I think this is the only paint job they offer. I've seen a few locals actually drive this car, not this one, but their own version of this car. And I've never seen any other body, so I think they only do this one body in the green, white, and black, but it looks pretty fresh. I'm digging it. So here is the actual car itself, and you'll see it comes in a rear motor configuration. Now, when you buy the race kit, you actually get the components to switch this around mid-motor, but this doesn't come that way. Basically, it comes as rear motor, and that's the way it's going to stay until you buy separate parts to convert it to mid-motor. It's got a gear diff in it, and it comes with dog bones. This is actually a sensorless 2700 kilovolt brushless motor, and it's got an Orion, basically like a sport speed control. And of course, this is just the receiver. One thing that I have noticed when I've driven other ready-to-run vehicles, the only other ready-to-run vehicle I've ever owned was a Team Associated SC10. And in my SC10, the servo was just painfully slow. That wasn't the case with this car. I actually felt pretty connected to it through the radio. The only downside is, I don't know how well you'll be able to see this or not, but that servo saver, the servo saver, it's gotta go. If you're gonna race one of these things, go spend $5, get the plastic servo horn for the servo. It will make a world of difference, I'm positive. The shocks are plastic versions of the Kyosho race shocks, and believe it or not, they don't seem to be leaking or anything like that. Obviously, the car sat in the box for some time. They work pretty good, but out of the box, the kit comes with a 5-hole piston. I shouldn't know that, but I'll tell you that story later. Out of the box, the kit comes with a 5-hole piston, and it's a little bit under-dampened. So if you watched closely in that video I just showed you, you probably heard the car land a little bit harsh. It kind of slapped a little bit. And in some of the jumps that had really steep faces, if you hit the jump going fast enough, you'd actually hear the car slap. But overall, I'm pretty impressed. Generally speaking, I'd say if you're going to go out and you're going to get it ready to run, I think the Kyosho is a great product. Here are some tips. 1, spend a couple bucks and get 2-hole by 1.6 front and rear pistons. Do that. I promise it'll make you happy. Spend $5 and get a regular servo horn. Servo savers are nice and they will protect the servo, but if you want optimum performance, you need to feel a little bit more connected. And last but not least, you're probably going to want to play around with your slipper adjustment, because in a sensorless system, it's never going to be quite as smooth and quite as responsive as a sensored system. And basically, if you're unfamiliar with what I'm talking about, these motors, some of them have sensors that tell the speed control where the rotor position is at. This one doesn't. Now, sensorless systems tend to be a little bit more efficient, meaning they can make more power with the same basically size motor. But sensored systems are a little bit smoother and they have better and finer throttle control. So this is sensorless, which means you're going to get a little bit more runtime. It'll probably be a little bit more efficient, a little bit faster, but you don't have that really fine throttle resolution. And so what you want to do is you want to be careful, set your slipper just right, and maybe even add some 6,000 or 7,000 weight oil inside this rear gear diff. So overall, I'm pretty stoked. I think that for $300, you just can't beat it. The plastics, obviously the chassis is black, where the normal race chassis is like that hard anodized color. I don't know if they use different metals or different plastics, but I can tell you they feel very, very similar, if not identical to me. Okay, so who is this car for? If you're into racing RC cars, or you're getting into racing RC cars, and you just don't have a budget to go out and spend a couple of $1,000s on a kit, building it up with electronics and high-end stuff, there's nothing wrong with starting out with an RTR, having some fun. The biggest investment you can make in a ready-to-run kit like this is a good set of wheels and tires, and then you can upgrade other components as time and money permits. But the wheels and tires by far will go the farthest towards making the car easier to drive and faster on the track. The radio that actually comes with this kit is actually pretty cool. Let me show you this. When you turn this thing on, it actually glows a nice blue or whatever. It actually feels pretty good, pretty ergonomical, and it has some really crucial settings. Some of these ready-to-run cars that are out there, they don't come with the ability to change your endpoint, your EPA adjustment, so you can never really fine-tune the throw or how far these things steer. This has EPA adjustment for the steering, for the throttle. It has dual rate, your trim tabs, all that stuff, and overall it works pretty good. It basically just runs on 4 AA's, and you know, for ready-to-run equipment, it just isn't bad stuff. You know, you're not going to get a $500 radio when you buy a ready-to-run RC car, but this radio is pretty comfortable. It does the job, and as you can see from me running it earlier, it gets the job done. So overall, a pretty cool product. I'll probably play around with this thing a little bit. I may end up trying to dial it in just to have fun, just as a project. What I'm going to do is exactly what I told you I thought you should do. I'm going to put a servo horn on it. I'm going to loosen up the slipper. I'm going to add some probably 7,000 weight to the rear diff and change the shock pistons. That's a big thing, so it lands a little bit better. And I'm going to send it. Get out there and beat on this thing, club race it, goof off with it, and maybe we'll upgrade it in the future as a project car. So I appreciate you guys watching. This was my review on the Kyosho RB6 RTR. Talk to you guys soon. All right. So I alluded to the fact that there was a story. So what happened was, we pulled the car out of the box. I put it on the track and I was like, man, this thing's just got too much brake. Like, you know, you touch the brake, the car would want to spin. So Riley, the kid that works, I call him kid, he's like 21. The kid that works at the hobby shop, he's sold a bunch of these ready-to-run kits to locals that come to our racetrack. So I'm like, hey, Riley, how do you change the brake? As you can see right here. Hey, Riley, how do you turn the EPA down? So, mind you, I've already taken the car and I've set the car on the track. Now, none of my race cars, they don't have reverse or anything like that. Not only that, but on my race cars, you can go through the menu system on the radio, change it, and you're just good to go. Just, you know, you don't ever have to touch the throttle to change, say, your brake ATL or your trim or any of that stuff, endpoints. So he goes to adjust the brake endpoint, and I don't know if he was driving the car backwards, but all of a sudden we hear smack. And I'm like, man, it sucks to be that guy. And Leland's like, there's nobody on the track. There's nobody on the driver's stand. And I'm like, dang, the RB6 was on the track. We go out there. Because Riley had been adjusting it, he must have just drove the car into the boards at like full speed in reverse or something like that. And he busted the rear suspension hanger. So we walk up. It ripped the shock out of the cap. The oil was all over the track. The hinge pin, the arm, everything's just laying there. And so that's how I know the car has 5-hole pistons in it. Just that simple. We destroyed the car before we ever ran it. So I brought it back to the pits. I put 30-weight shock oil in it. We put some different tires. We ended up trying it out, changing the tires, and fixed it because we had a extra rear suspension hanger. And so that's the story. Before we even got a chance to run this car and actually try it out, we had it broke. So that's that. Anyways, thanks for watching, you guys. You know I appreciate you guys watching these videos so we can have fun, goofing off, racing RC cars. And we'll see you in the next video. Take it easy. Hey, by the way, before you leave, I just want to say thanks again for watching my videos. I only make these videos so that we can have fun together. By the way, you'd be doing me a big favor if you could either comment, like, or even better, subscribe to my channel. Again, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time. Hey, Riley.
How in the world?
We busted the rear arm off driving into the wall just now. I swear to God. All right, so while Riley was fixing the trim, we drove this sucker to the boards at full throttle and busted it. I just got it fixed, so let's go try it. And then we'll try the other tires.